Hey everybody, Austin Hill Shaw here, founder of Creativity Matters and author of The Shoreline of Wonder on Being Creative. Today we're going to continue on our exploration of creativity and Bay Area innovation. Creativity and Bay Area innovation. And today I'd like to talk about this theme of the City of Gold, the City of Gold. And of course, San Francisco and the Bay Area, at least in terms of its kind of burgeoning awareness in the United States and in the rest of the world, was first associated with this thing called the gold rush in 1849, where gold was discovered, I think up near Placerville, and suddenly boatloads of people were coming here in mass in order to find their own gold and hopefully seek their own fortunes and make their own lives and live out their dreams, whatever they were. And it was really an incredible time here, a bit of a frenetic time, a bit of a chaotic time, and sometimes a little bit of a depraved time, because again, people were coming out here with the idea that by getting a hold of this precious substance, that their lives would somehow be bettered. And we know to some degree that we need to have resources in order so that we can live out our lives, to live out our dreams, to bring forth our creations. You have to have resources. But there's also been times where, again, people bet everything on just finding this substance and this particular precious metal. But it goes beyond that. Again, let's kind of cut below the surface. And first of all, I want to kind of present something that I do every year. I've done it every year for the last 10 years, with the exception of that when I had the birth of my second daughter. But every year I go up to the High Sierras. I go on a retreat in the High Sierras. And from the Bay Area, I basically drive down 120. I pass through Yosemite, and I'm heading east, and then I drop in down to an area past Mona Lake to a place called the Owens Valley. Go to a town called Bishop, and so there it's about 7 hours away from the Bay Area by car. And then I drive westward up into a region which I've called, my friend and I have named the universal ground of everything. And essentially what we do is we hike in, okay, and we're starting hiking over at about 9,000 feet. We go over a 12,000 foot pass and then drop into the headwaters of Kings Canyon. So, in order for me to get to this place, I have to travel 7 miles by car, another 40 minutes from Bishop, then do an arduous hike into this place. And what I'm always amazed by is, like, when I'm in there in a world that seems so seemingly different than being in the Bay Area, big, huge granite peaks of big glaciers and lakes everywhere and high above timberline. What I'm always struck by is the fact that I'm still inside the watershed of the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm still inside the watershed of the Golden Gate Bridge, meaning that the snow that melts there historically ran into Kings Canyon, entered into the San Joaquin River watershed, and eventually would go out the Golden Gate, right? Go out the Golden Gate. So again, even though I'm high in these mountains, that energy on the western slope of the Sierra Nevadas was all being washed down via the San Joaquin Valley to the south and the Sacramento River to the north, out through the Carquinez Straits into the Bay of San Francisco and out the Golden Gate. So when we bring that into effect and think of the beauty and the precious metals that were up there and all the energy that is in the mountains, the Chinese called the City of Gold, not based on the gold necessarily that was there, but because it was such an auspicious place to live, right? And gold has that quality of auspiciousness to it. They called it the City of Gold because it was valued not only like a precious metal or monetary level, but because, again, it was just drawing the energy from this majestic, almost mythical place called California. And to this day, I see that those same qualities in gold being played out. And that's what I'd like to reflect on a little bit here, okay? What are the qualities of gold? What are the qualities of gold that we can start to look at and incorporate into our lives in order so that we can understand, hey, it's not the substance that we necessarily need, but the qualities as creators and innovators that we can bring into our lives, okay? First of all, gold is accommodating more than most any of the other metals there. You can flatten it into thin sheets or draw it into lines. It's easily shaped, right? So it's very malleable. So you can do things with it. It's not a fixed substance. You can change it around. And like that, when we are accommodating, we allow ourselves to co-create with the world, okay? The second aspect of gold is that it's highly conductive, okay? It's second only to silver. So it has this ability to conduct heat and electricity. And that makes it really valuable. And if we think of that, so it has this quality of flow to it. It allows things to move through it easily. It allows things to move through it easily. And once again, one of the highest states of creativity that I talk about is the flow state, right? That state of self-expression where we have a sense of something much bigger than us moving through us, right? Moving through us. And that allows for that state of flow, of being in a dance with the world, and being a dance with the materials we're working with, or the ideas in our mind, or the pen on the paper, okay? Or the substances in the beaker, whatever it is that allows us to flow, okay? Third, even though gold is conductive, it is also very enduring. Unlike silver, which tends to corrode, and if you've ever had sort of silver around, you have to kind of keep it polished. Gold isn't like that. It has a very enduring quality, so that even though it is accommodating, and even though it's conductive, it also is able to endure, right? It is able to stand the test of time. And that's one of the things, the qualities that I think may seem paradoxical there. But as creators, in order for us to bring forth our projects, especially projects that are complex or that take a lot of resources, a lot of time or work, we have to endure. We have to continue to go true to our mission and our vision as we move forward. It's important that we do stay the course. Otherwise, we don't ever finish those projects that were so exciting when we had that moment of insight, right? When we had whatever moment it was that said, hey, maybe I should move forth in this particular direction, right? And finally, there's this quality of gold that is luminous, right? Luminous. There's a luminosity to gold that catches the eye and has been, the joy of newlyweds and pharaohs and kings throughout history, right? It's just this beautiful substance. And so if we take those qualities of gold, again, not the monetary value necessarily, all right, but these other qualities and start to apply them to our lives, then we can start to see, again, accommodation, flow, endurance, and luminosity. We can start to see how those in and of themselves can start to allow us to lead more creative lives. It's pretty remarkable, really. And also, if I look at San Francisco, sometimes I've been up on the Golden Gate Bridge, or sometimes I've been looking at from the East Bay Hills, and there's these things called kimberlites, and kimberlites are actually kind of things of rock deep in the earth that are known to carry diamonds. As we know, diamonds, natural diamonds, are basically fusings of carbon, right? They're made up of carbons, but pushed together by intense heat and pressure. And sometimes when I look at the San Francisco and just see those beautiful buildings up, it's got that almost glows. It has this quality of like luminosity, and I can almost feel just it drawing the energy from the sky and the bay around it. It's such a beautiful city. So I understand what the Chinese were talking about when they talk about it, the city of gold. And living in Berkeley, at the benefit of looking out over San Francisco and the Golden Gate, especially in the morning when the light is hitting it, you can see the orange of the Golden Gate, and then again the beauty of the city there too, in the beautiful morning light. So from you, I would love to hear about how those qualities, again, of accommodation, flow, endurance, and luminosity permeate your life. How can you start to use those so that you too can have more creative expression in your life? And again, through that expression and learning how to be adaptable and communicative with others, how you can bring forth innovations in the forms of products, services, or ways of being. Or how have you done that already? And how are those qualities related to these aspects of gold that I just talked about? I'd love to hear that in the comment section below this video if you're willing to do that. Love to hear your share. And finally, if you're not on my website right now, go to www.austinhillshaw.com, and I'd love to see you over there. If you'd love to share any information that you've had there, please feel free to share this on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I don't get this information out there without your help, and so I'm so grateful for all the sharing that you've done and all the sharing that you continue to do. I really appreciate you tuning in each week for these. It's very meaningful to me. So finally, this is Austin Hill Shaw, of the founder. I'm hearing my daughter who wants to come in. This is Austin Hill Shaw, founder of Creativity Matters and author of The Shoreline of Wonder, reminding you to connect deeply, to make a difference, and to inspire creativity in others. Thank you so much for joining me. Is that you, Lorenza? You want to come in? Come on in, sweetheart. This is my little bit of gold right now. Come on. Look at there she is. I will certainly do that. A little golden lollipop. Thank you. So good. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you. Say bye. Can you say goodbye? Bye. Thank you.